So some of you may know that I've been working on a new game I plan on publishing soon, and today I'm giving you a first glimpse of it. So let's just go ahead and start. So I just want to point out that everything in the game, especially the colors and the graphics, is subject to change before release, and so this is some of the things you're going to see is just temporary. So let's just go ahead and start with normal mode and tap mode. So you see, you have a tap me button. You tap, then it changes position to different parts on the screen, which is completely at random. Okay, and you get scores every time you tap the button, and there's a time limit. So keep going. Every time you hit 20 on the score, well, every time you get 20 points, there a don't tap button appears, which if you tap, you lose instantly. And this changes shape and position every time you tap me button. Also, every time you get 40 score points, you get 20 extra seconds on your time. So you can get up to really far scores if you keep tapping very fast, because the time will basically never run out if you're fast enough. See, now we have two tap buttons. Of course, when you reach higher scores, they may reach 10, even 20. Remember the don't tap buttons. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the don't tap button now so I can show you other modes of the game. Oh, this is how you lose. So this is especially subject to change, especially the colors of these buttons, and it gives you the number of points and the number of seconds that you played. Okay, so we'll return to the main menu. So let's take a look at Zen Mode. Basically, in Zen Mode, you have this button, and no don't tap buttons ever show up, and you can't add extra time, but you start with 120 seconds on the time. So it's basically saying exactly how much you can get in only 120 seconds. So this is a fairly static mode of the game. Yeah, one thing to point out is that every time you start a new game, the background and the background music are completely randomized. Okay, so okay, so I'll show you crazy mode now. So crazy mode. Basically, the tap me button moves, and every time you tap it, a different number of don't tap buttons at different positions appear, and all the while it's still moving. See, this is going to be the hardest mode of the game, especially when you play it in swipe mode, which I'm gonna show you guys in a while. So sometimes it just moves when you're about to tap it. Okay, so yeah, you also get time every time you reach score 40. You get extra time in this mode. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the last mode and the endless mode. And tap mode. Basically, here the time never runs out. Instead, it counts. Instead, it counts the time taken so far. Right? But you do get don't tap buttons. But there's no hurry, so you can take your time and really focus to hit the right button. Okay, so this is a fairly simple mode of the game. See, there is no time rush, so you can just take your time and just hit the right button. But of course, if you do hit the don't tap button, you lose. Okay. No. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys swipe mode. So in each of these modes, you can then pick tap or swipe mode. I've been showing you tap. Basically, in swipe, instead of tapping, you see when I tap nothing happens, you have to swipe on it in order to get the point. But the other rules are fairly the same. So you had score of 20, you got the don't tap button. Okay. So I'll show you now swipe mode and other game modes. Let's say Zen mode. No, we'll go in crazy mode and swipe mode. See, so it's moving and you have to swipe actually while it's moving. See, hold on, let me back a bit. Oh, I hit a don't tap button, which is this is the hardest mode of the game. So I'm definitely gonna change this, especially the colors of these two buttons right here. And I'm still working on the iPhone version. Actually, I haven't worked on it at all. I'm leaving that to the end. And for the name, I was thinking about calling it Tap Speed, as you guys may have seen. But I'm also thinking about calling it Entropy, because basically everything in the game is completely randomized, from the backgrounds, the background music, to the position of the buttons. Almost everything is completely randomized. Okay, and that's it. So tell me what you guys think in the comments.